Rain slashed the night in violent sheets, turning the riverside projects into a shiny maze of reflections. At 11:47 p.m., a shattering crash ripped through the street as a man's body plummeted from a second-floor apartment and hit the concrete with bone-breaking force. His skull cracked on impact. Windows trembled. Cats scattered. His name was Ethan Caldwell, a cybersecurity expert known for his paranoia. Neighbors swore they heard a struggle moments before he fell. Someone tossed him, no doubt about it. Detective Nora Brennan arrived minutes later, slick with rain, hair plastered to her cheeks. She crouched beside the body, noticing something the other officers missed, a barely visible shard of high-grade plastic part of a military listening device. That alone meant this wasn't random. Nothing about the scene felt random. Not the broken glass sprayed outward. Not the bruises forming on Ethan's neck. As she stepped back, the wind carried a faint scent jasmine. Feminine. Strange. Whoever killed Ethan wasn't an amateur. They were careful. Precise. And they wanted to send a message. Nora didn't know it yet, but the message was meant for her. The next morning, Detective Nora stood in the office of the most influential man in the department, Commissioner Gabriel Harcourt. Tall, refined, his uniform pristine, his voice calm and smooth. He radiated an intimidating intelligence that made even senior officers choose their words carefully. He listened to Nora's briefing with deep interest. "A listening device?" he asked. "Yes, sir." "Military grade?" His eyebrow lifted just enough to suggest concern, but not enough to reveal fear. Harcourt was the kind of man politicians trusted blindly. The kind of man journalists praised as a symbol of justice. Nobody, absolutely nobody, would suspect him of wrongdoing. So when he told Nora, "Find the truth, no matter where it leads," she believed him. As she walked out, Harcourt's expression shifted. His jaw tightened. His fingers tapped his desk in annoyance. Ethan's death should have been cleaner. Faster. Untraceable. Now Nora, with her sharp instincts and stubborn dedication, was digging into something dangerous. The commissioner leaned back and exhaled slowly. He admired her. Respected her. Would protect her. But if she got too close, he would have to choose between the empire he'd built and the woman he was starting to want. At Ethan's apartment, Nora discovered something compelling, a strand of long red hair caught under the bathroom door. Expensive jasmine perfume lingered faintly in the air. Witnesses mentioned a woman in a red coat leaving shortly before the fall. That same night, Claire Moreau checked into a downtown hotel, shaking as she clutched her phone. Her hands trembled when she dialed a number she had promised to forget. "It's done," she whispered. A man's cold voice answered, "Good. Disappear." But as she hung up, a light blinked on her phone, a trace she didn't recognize. Panic surged through her. Someone was following her. Someone who knew exactly what she'd done. Nora requested CCTV footage of the area, but several cameras were mysteriously offline. Files she saved kept disappearing. System logs showed unauthorized access from inside headquarters. Someone internal was sabotaging her investigation. Someone powerful. Someone careful. And the scent of jasmine kept following her thoughts like a ghost. Ethan's laptop was a fortress, locked behind multiple failsafes, but Nora was relentless. After hours of bypassing encryption traps that would have erased the drive, she uncovered a hidden folder labeled Phoenix Program. Inside were maps of off-grid interrogation sites, records of black-budget operations, photos of senior officers, surveillance transcripts, and one face circled in bright red, Commissioner Gabriel Harcourt. Nora froze. The perfect boss. The flawless public hero. Could he be involved in this secret network? She told no one about the discovery. Not yet. Her instincts screamed danger. Files vanished each time she stepped away from her desk. Someone was monitoring her terminal from inside headquarters. She changed her passwords. Locked her office. Placed a tracking device under her desk. And still, she felt watched. 3 days after the discovery, Nora drove home late. As she crossed the darkened bridge, her brakes suddenly failed. Her car spun violently, metal screeching against guardrails before smashing into a barrier. She barely escaped before the engine burst into flames too quickly to be coincidence. Then came the text. Stop digging. No sender. No trace. Shaken, Nora called the one person she trusted most, Commissioner Harcourt. He arrived in 20 minutes, face filled with concern, draping his coat over her shoulders as though she were made of glass. You're safe now, he said. His voice soothed her. His touch steadied her. She believed him. She shouldn't have. When he offered to take her to his home for the night, she accepted out of fear, exhaustion, and something she wasn't ready to name. At that moment, she didn't know she was walking into the lion's den. Harcourt's house overlooked the Sound, quiet and dimly lit. No personal photos. No family portraits. Just leather-bound books, expensive art, and an intimidating sense of order. Nora wrapped herself in a soft blanket while he made tea. The silence between them wasn't awkward, it was charged. He sat beside her. Not too close. Just enough for tension to simmer. Their conversation drifted into personal territory. He asked about her childhood, her dreams, her fears. He listened with rare intensity, a softness she never expected from a man of his stature. When lightning flashed outside, she flinched. He placed a steady hand on her shoulder. You're not alone, Nora. Her breath caught. For the first time since the investigation began, she felt safe. But the safety was an illusion crafted by the very man orchestrating her nightmare. That night, she slept under his roof. And Harcourt stayed awake, watching the storm, calculating how to keep her close without destroying her completely. The world saw a hero in Commissioner Harcourt. Beneath the polished image lay a ruthless architect, the mastermind behind a silent empire built on blackmail, surveillance, and fear. He controlled a hidden network of loyal officers, classified access to national databases, a private intelligence unit, a series of assassinations disguised as accidents, and millions in off-book transactions. Ethan had cracked something he was never meant to see, a transaction linking Harcourt to an abduction ring. When Ethan tried to leak the evidence, Harcourt signed his death warrant. And now Nora, brilliant, fearless Nora, was getting too close. But unlike Ethan, Harcourt didn't want her eliminated. He wanted her beside him. He wanted her mind, her fire, her loyalty. He wanted her heart. But if she refused, he was prepared to break her into silence. Late one night, Nora slipped back into Ethan's private office, searching for anything the killer missed. In his locker, she found a flash drive wrapped in duct tape, hidden inside a wall panel. The moment she pocketed it, she heard footsteps, heavy, synchronized. 2 men in plain clothes. Not officers she recognized. Harcourt's enforcers. Her heartbeat slammed against her ribs. She ducked under a desk, crawled to the maintenance hatch, and slipped into the ventilation shaft as they kicked down the door. Bullets echoed behind her. She escaped into the alley, soaked in sweat and rain, clutching the drive like a lifeline. She couldn't deny it anymore, the threat was coming from inside the department. But she still didn't dare suspect the commissioner. He had protected her. Saved her. Held her when she shook with fear. The truth was right in front of her. But love, unwanted, unspoken, clouded her judgment. For 3 sleepless nights, Nora worked on decrypting the flash drive. Layer after layer peeled away until it finally opened. She wished it hadn't. Inside were ledgers of illegal transactions, coordinates of underground cells, dozens of blackmail recordings, orders to eliminate political threats, lists of compromised officers. And one video that shattered her world. Ethan tied to a chair, being interrogated by a masked man. But the voice wasn't masked. Smooth. Deep. Controlled. Commissioner Gabriel Harcourt's voice. Nora staggered backward. Tears blurred the screen. She couldn't breathe. The man who held her when she was broken. The man who made her feel safe. He was the monster in the shadows. The perfect villain, hidden in plain sight. The next morning, Nora stormed into Harcourt's office, eyes red, files in hand. "Why did you kill him?" Her voice trembled. Harcourt locked the door behind her. Slowly. Calmly. The air thickened. He didn't lie. He didn't pretend to be surprised. He looked at her with painful honesty. "Because he threatened the order I built," he said. Her knees weakened. "How many others?" "Enough to keep this city from burning." Nora reached for her gun. He was faster, twisting her wrist gently but firmly. "I would never hurt you, Nora," he whispered. "You're meant to stand beside me." "I will expose you," she spat. His expression darkened. "If you force me to choose between you and everything I've built, I won't choose you." Tears streamed down her face. "Then I hope you're ready for war," she said. And she walked out. She didn't see the hurt in his eyes. The monster loved her. And that made him even more dangerous. By evening, Harcourt issued a covert order: capture Nora. Not kill, detain. He still couldn't bear losing her forever. She noticed details: the backup units with no call signs, unmarked cars circling her block. She ran. At headquarters, she triggered a fire alarm, forcing security doors to glitch open. Amid the chaos, she sprinted through corridors, dodging officers loyal to the commissioner. Bullets cracked overhead. Windows shattered. The building descended into pandemonium. She burst through a service exit into the rain-soaked streets, breathless, terrified, clutching the flash drive. Harcourt watched from his office window. He didn't shout. He didn't panic. He whispered, "You shouldn't make me chase you." And the manhunt began. Within 24 hours, Nora was declared a rogue officer. Her photo was in every precinct. Her accounts frozen. Every camera in the city hunted her face. Harcourt weaponized the entire department against her. But Nora was smarter than anyone expected. She hid in abandoned warehouses, changed her appearance, used burner phones, and reached the one colleague she still trusted, Detective Sergeant Liam Whitaker, who agreed to help leak the evidence. Together they sent the files to a renowned investigative journalist. Minutes before publication, Harcourt's men raided the journalist's home and seized everything. The truth was buried again. Nora stared at the skyline in despair. She couldn't beat him with evidence. She would have to beat him face to face. The final confrontation took place in the same derelict building where Ethan died, a poetic circle neither of them had planned. A handful of officers still loyal to the truth rallied to Nora. A larger squad loyal to Harcourt arrived moments later. Gunfire erupted. Walls cracked. Smoke and screams filled the air. In the middle of the chaos, Harcourt approached Nora unarmed. His uniform torn. Blood running down his face. Eyes soft, almost pleading. "In another life," he whispered, "you would have loved me." "I could have," she said, voice breaking. "But you chose the darkness." He stepped closer. She raised her weapon. He didn't stop. Didn't flinch. He walked toward her, slow and deliberate, choosing pain over surrender. "Nora," he breathed. She pulled the trigger. The bullet tore through his chest. He fell backward into shattered glass, blood pooling beneath him. But he didn't die instantly. His last words were barely audible. "You were the only good thing I ever wanted." Then the light left his eyes. The King of Shadows died on broken glass alone, defeated, undone by the one woman he could never control. In the weeks that followed, the truth finally broke free. Evidence leaked. Corrupt officers fell. The public learned what their beloved commissioner truly was. Nora was reinstated, hailed as a hero. But inside, she felt anything but victorious. Sometimes she stood on the bridge at night, staring into the dark water below. She thought of his smile. His voice. The rare moments he let the mask slip. the twisted love he tried to give her. She didn't forgive him. She didn't excuse him. But she couldn't erase him from her heart either. Justice had won. But victory left scars. The empire of darkness had fallen. And the man she almost loved died by her hand. The story ended with truth. But not with peace. Because some shadows never truly leave.